What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I want to talk about Paul George and the Los Angeles Clippers, but mostly Paul George. And it's awesome that PG-13 is back. It's great to have that man back, healthy, ready to run for the playoffs. And he's been fairly good since he got back. He looks like he's kind of working himself back into form. He had a really good game when his first game back, but a lot of times when you come back from those long 3 month absences and stuff like that, the shooting splits don't always look too great. So it's kind of to be expected, in my opinion. But before I hop into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. Let's hype up Paul George and let's talk about how he's been since he got back. He's had 4 games. There's one right now against you can see it in the background up there. It's the Clippers and Kings. That game's not factored into these statistics, although he was killing it in that game. So in the 4 games before tonight, 22.5 points, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 48% from three, about 3 steals a game. So, he's still locking up like he always did before, close to 80% from the free throw line. And he's only played about 30 minutes per game. They're kind of keeping him on not necessarily a minutes restriction, but they're just limiting him and not really, the games haven't really demanded that he plays a bunch of minutes on top of that. So there's really no reason for it. And I figure in the playoffs and the play-in tournament, it'll probably get up to around, 34, 35, 36, above that. The minutes are going to go up, I would assume. He's the best player. He's the best player on the team. And to continue how good he's been since he got back, the game right now, I don't even know if he's checked back in because they're blowing out the Kings. So I was like, I'm going to just record this video now because he looked amazing in the time that he was there. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, and 2 steals. Last I saw, he had 6 threes. Who knows, that stat line could change by the end of the game if he ends up having to come back in for whatever reason. But almost a triple-double in how many minutes was it? About 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes. So he's right about where he's been kind of playing. Ty Lue's a great coach. He's probably managing it to make sure that his guys are fresh and not overdoing it on their returns. But yeah, Paul George, man, he's been absolutely awesome. And I think last playoff run, he really won a lot of people over, especially compared to the ones before that where he might have had shooting struggles and the team didn't fare too well. But last playoff run, I know he definitely pulled me in. And yeah, I know he pulled in a lot of other people because he was amazing in that playoff run. That team, Kawhi Leonard goes down. He steps up in Utah, wins a game there. They win the series, and he takes the Suns to, I think it was 6, could have been 7, but they had a really great run, and he was a huge reason why. He was a legit number one, and he proved that he's still that guy, that he's not like the Indiana Pacers. Paul George is still there. So I love seeing that. And getting to the Clippers a little bit about this, I think that they are probably the most dangerous 8 seed that, I'm not even going to, in the West, at least in recent memory, I've never seen a team that was the 8 seed in terms of where they're at right now that you would necessarily not want to play. And I think because now they've got, they got Robert Covington, they got Norman Powell. The team is a little bit deeper than it was last year. So I think that's a very crucial piece to this, is that now there's another option next to Reggie Jackson. So it's not, you got Paul George, Reggie, and then there's somebody else to pick up slack there. So it's not necessarily having to be Terrence Mann or Marcus Morris or somebody like that that can be a little streaky. And they provide different things anyway. So you're making them have to do stuff that they're not the most reliable for. Not to say that they can't do it, but you'd much rather have Norman Powell, Reggie Jackson, and Paul George as your 3 leading scorers on night-to-night basis. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, a team like that's not a team you want to face. That's going to be a hard series. They're going to be some dogfights in that. And I think that's beautiful because that means that there's going to be some intrigue. This is, of course, me assuming that they're going to make it out of the plan. I think they'll make it out of the plan. I would probably guess that they'll probably beat the Timberwolves. That's they'd have to go on the road right now into Minnesota and do it. And this is not me trying to slander the Timberwolves. I just think that the Clippers have a little bit better overall team. And if Paul George is back and playing number one Paul George, then I think he's possibly the best player on the floor. Cat can have an argument. Anthony Edwards can have an argument. That's a different debate for a different day, but it's possible that he can be that. And then I think, he had that 3 months off or whatever it was, almost 4 months. His legs are fresh. His legs are under him. It looks like he's worked himself into conditioning. The shots aren't all super short or something like that, which is an indicator. But yeah, so the legs should be fresh. So he should be able to ramp up and go hard in that play-in tournament and in the playoff series if they make it like I'm predicting. So I mean that this is like it's kind of all wrapping up nicely. I mean, it would have been like the best like cherry on top if Kawhi Leonard was able to get back, but honestly, I never expected him to do that. Like he's one of those people that really pays attention to his body and doesn't put a lot of risk out there with it. So I get it. I respect it. You know, he said that he wants to be able to grow old with his kids and stuff like that and see them grow up. Respect that. Just I have no issue with that. If you're a basketball player, you make your own decisions. But this Clippers team, they look nice. They look threatening. Paul George is back. He looks fantastic. And going back to like the Wolves and the Clippers playing game, that's almost I think it's guaranteed to happen. I think experience is another reason I'm kind of picking the Clippers to pull that out. They have guys that have been in the playoffs and been there. I mean, like they've been in the trenches before. Like Patrick Beverley's a Timberwolves, but he was a Clipper. So it's just like Timberwolves don't have a lot of experience in that, and you usually don't bet on a team that doesn't have a lot of experience to beat the team with experience that's kind of forming together at the right time. Logically, I just don't think you do that. So, yeah, Clippers fans, let me know how you're feeling about PG returning, how you're feeling about your team's playing chances, the playoff chances if you get out of the play-in, what your overall mood is, how you're feeling this is going to go, what your expectations are. I really want to know. I really appreciate any feedback, any comments that always make my day. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like the video, please like the video. And if you want to have a basketball talk on Twitter, you can find me. I'm going to put it somewhere on here. I'm not really sure yet, but my Twitter will be on there. And you guys will be able to hit me up if you want to. Yeah. Clips, man. It's going to be great. I'm done here. Peace.